Welcome to today's lesson in physics. Today we are continuing with the topic motional EMF. In the last lesson, we have already discussed that motional EMF arises due to the motion of charges through a magnetic field, and we obtained the expression for motional EMF to be BLV. Now we will see what happens when the conductor is not in motion but is placed in a time-dependent magnetic field. We already know that when a charged particle is moving through a region where both electric field and magnetic field are present, then the charge experiences a force given by F is equal to QE plus Q into V cross B. Here, if the conductor is stationary, there is no chance of the force due to magnetic field, that is Q into V cross B will be equal to 0. And there is only a chance for the charged particle to experience a force that is due to electric field, that is F is equal to QE. Faraday has showed experimentally that an EMF is developed when a conductor is kept stationary in a time-varying magnetic field. That means if the conductor is stationary in a magnetic field which varies with respect to time, it is found that an EMF is induced in it. And now we have seen that if the conductor is stationary in the magnetic field, there is no chance of getting a force due to magnetic field. That means Q into V cross B term that will be absent. The presence of induced EMF in this particular case, it proves that the charges inside the conductor, they have experienced a force and they have moved. It is their motion which constituted induced EMF. So the only possibility of the presence of a force under the action of which the electrons have moved is due to an electric field. But we haven't applied any electric field. The only condition is this: the conductor is kept in a changing magnetic field. So from this, Faraday has concluded that the time varying magnetic field has generated an electric field. And it is a very important point to be noted that a time varying magnetic field produces an electric field. And the electric fields produced by the static electric charges have the properties different from those produced by time varying magnetic field. That means which all electric fields we studied in the chapters electrostatics, that electric field is different from the electric field produced by time varying magnetic field. This striking discovery once again underlines the relation between electricity and magnetism. Now we have a problem from exercises. Question 6.10. A jet plane is traveling towards west at a speed of 1800 km per hour. What is the voltage difference developed between the ends of the wings having a span of 25 meter if the Earth's magnetic field at the location has a magnitude of 5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla and the dip angle is 30 degree. So here jet plane is moving towards west and its speed is 1800 km per hour. And the span of the wings, it is 25 meter, and it's given that Earth's magnetic field is 5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla, and the angle of dip also is given. So here the magnetic field is not given exactly. The Earth's magnetic field is given, and when the jet plane is moving horizontally, the magnetic field which is responsible for the production of motional EMF in the wings of this jet plane, it is the vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. So first step is to find vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. Earth's magnetic field is given and angle of dip also is given. So using the equation we have studied in like ZD is equal to B sine I. So the same equation is written here in terms of BV and delta. Here delta stands for that angle of dip. So using this equation is the same as ZD is equal to BE into sine I, where I is angle of dip, like that we studied in textbook. Okay, where BE is Earth's magnetic field. So everything is given. You can find vertical component of Earth's magnetic field. So here this magnetic field is responsible for the electromagnetic induction. Now using the other terms, because we know it is 1800, converting it into meter per second, we have 500 meter per second, and wingspan, so length of the conductor here it becomes 25 meter. Now substituting, we'll have the induced EMF to be 3.125 volt. So voltage difference developed between the ends of the wings, it is 3.125 volt. Now example 6.6. A metallic rod of 1 meter length is rotated with a frequency of 50 revolutions per second, with one end hinged at the center and the other end at the circumference of a circular metallic ring of radius 1 meter about an axis passing through the center and perpendicular to the plane of the ring. A constant and uniform magnetic field of 1 Tesla parallel to the axis is present everywhere. What is the EMF between the center and the metallic ring? So when we read the question, what comes to our mind is this. So we have a magnetic field which is into the plane, and in that plane we have a conductor OQ or OP, we can say OP, which is rotated. So this conductor OP is rotated in that magnetic field. So this is the condition given, and the speed of rotation, that is with an angular velocity omega, and we are asked to find the EMF induced between the center of the conductor and that metallic ring. The other end of the conductor is moving over a metallic ring. So between the center and the metallic ring, what is the EMF induced? That's what it is asked. And it's given that rod is having a length 1 meter and the frequency is 50 revolutions per second. So 50 revolutions per second, that is frequency from which we can obtain omega, because 50 revolutions per second is the frequency. So omega equal to 2 pi nu. So we have 2 pi into 50, that is 100 pi radians per second is omega. So omega in this case is 100 pi radians per second. Before coming to the calculation, let's discuss what the actual theory is. Here we cannot directly use the equation epsilon equal to BLV because it's not in linear motion, but instead it is in circular motion. So first we'll obtain an expression for this induced EMF, and after that we will substitute the required data. As the conductor OP rotates in the magnetic field, we can see that the length of the conductor is perpendicular to the direction of this magnetic field. When it rotates, the electrons in the conductor OP, it experiences Lorentz force. Electrons experience Lorentz force, and the direction of that force for the electrons, it is from O to Q. So the electrons, they will be moving from O to Q or from O to P. That means from the center of the circular path or from the center of that circle to the metallic ring, the electrons will be moving. Effectively, on the metallic rings, electrons get accumulated and it acquires a negative charge, and at the center, a positive potential will be produced. So naturally, there will be a potential difference between the center and the metallic ring. That potential difference we are going to find. So when this conductor is rotated, the separation of charges produces an EMF, as we discussed. So the thing is this, at a particular stage, at a steady state, we can say, when the steady state is reached, no more flow of electrons will take place, and that particular EMF we will find. So to get that EMF, first we will consider a very small portion of the conductor whose length is dr, and when this particular conductor moves at right angles to the magnetic field, we know the induced EMF produced is d epsilon is equal to bv into dr, using the equation epsilon equal to blv, the expression for motional EMF. So for a small conductor, that means small portion of the conductor of length dr, the induced EMF produced is given by d epsilon equal to bv dr. Here v is the speed with which, or the linear speed with which the conductor is rotated. So the total EMF induced across the ends of the conductor is obtained by integrating this particular expression for d epsilon between the limit 0 to capital letter R, where capital letter R is the radius of the circular path, that is the same as the length of the conductor which is rotated. So here capital letter R stands for length of the conductor. Since it is rotated, we took it as R because that length of the conductor stands for radius. So substituting, we have integral d epsilon is equal to integral 0 to R bv dr. Now we know in the case of circular motion, we have v is equal to omega into r, where omega is the angular velocity or angular frequency we say, and r is the radius. So here what is this r? That r is, so we are considering a small portion dr now. So that small portion dr, we are considering this dr. So that dr portion is at a distance r. That's what we mean by that r here, small letter r. So here we have the expression for induced EMF epsilon as integral 0 to capital letter R b omega r dr. So integrating, we'll get the result as, or we can take b omega terms which are constant outside. So we have b omega into integral 0 to r then r dr. This is what we get by rearranging that step. Integral r dr, as we know the integration, r square by 2 it is. So we have epsilon is equal to b into omega into small r square by 2 between the limit 0 and capital letter R. So that's what we get by integration. Now what we need to do is substitute the upper limit and lower limit. When we substitute the upper limit, we'll have b omega capital letter R square by 2, and when we substitute the lower limit, we'll have that is 0. So the result of integration, it is nothing but b omega R square by 2. So our expression, so this equation is to be by hearted. Even if it is not given as a part of theory, you have to learn it as a theory equation. That means motional EMF induced when a conductor is rotated in a magnetic field with an angular frequency omega is b omega r square by 2. When the conductor is simply moved linearly, it is BLV, where L is the length of the conductor, V is the speed with which it is moved. But when the conductor is rotated with an angular frequency omega, then the induced EMF is b omega r square by 2. So that is the equation. Now substituting the values of b, omega and r, we will get the epsilon value, that means induced EMF, to be 157 volt. Now here we have one more example based on that rotating conductor. Example 6-7. A wheel with 10 metallic spokes each 0.5 meter long, is rotated with a speed of 120 revolution per minute in a plane normal to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field HE at a place. If HE is equal to 0.4 goes at the place, what is the induced EMF between the axle and the rim of the wheel? Note that 1 goes is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla. So here we are asked to find the induced EMF. Here the situation is there are 10 metallic spokes. So here the situation is similar to the previous situation. The only difference is there, that is, instead of one single conductor, here you have 10 spokes, like the wheels in the case of cycle, no, you have spokes. In the same way here 10 spokes are there, and the omega value, everything is given. You're asked to find induced EMF. So one confusion here which arises is, seeing that 10, we will feel that we have to multiply that in individual EMF with 10. But here try to understand, each metallic spoke, its center is at O and the other end is at the metallic ring. So all the two ends are at same potential. So it is effectively a parallel combination of 10 conductors. Like that it is coming actually, because the two ends of each metallic spoke will be at same potential. So induced EMF will be the same as we discussed earlier, that is half omega b r square or b omega r square by 2. You need not multiply it with 10 or divide it with 10. Leave it as such, because in a parallel combination, you know, potential difference remains the same. So that potential difference or that EMF is half b omega square, half b omega r square. So substituting the values here, it's given omega, that means that angular speed, that frequency is given as 120 revolutions per minute. So in 1 minute, in 60 second 120, so in 1 second 2 revolutions, like that it will be coming. And we can find omega also. So finding omega, so omega, you know, that is 2 pi nu, omega equal to 2 pi nu. Here nu is, so we said 60, in 60 second 120 revolution. So in 1 second 120 by 60, that is 2. So 2 hertz is the frequency. So here 2 into 2, it becomes 4, that means 4 pi. So omega becomes 4 pi. So that's what here we have, half into 4 pi into 0.4 into 10 raised to minus 4 and into 0.5 square. Direct substitution, the rest all, only omega we need to find. So we'll get the answer to be 6.28 into 10 raised to minus 5 volt. So only this much for today. Thank you.